We'd like to welcome Barbara Kayee Lee to CB24 Breakfast this morning, all the way from Vancouver. Barbara, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. This film is so refreshing and eye-opening. The documentary tracks not only your own kind of unfinished musical journey, but also attempts to answer that question of why are there no North American Asian pop stars. Do you think you found the answer in making this film, you know, which takes you from your hometown of Richmond, BC, to Washington State to try to get Kelly Clarkson to listen to your demo, to Nashville for songwriting and finishing your product, and then to Hong Kong?
Yeah. I think the fact that it took 10 years was a blessing because the journey really showed me I met so many great musicians, Asian American, Asian Canadians, also some international Asian musicians. And, you know, what we learned is that the barriers is not one thing, it's a multiple things. It's, you know, our own internalized racism, that imposter syndrome that we always have to deal with, not having role models so that you can't project yourself into the future because you see somebody who's already doing it, our own community, and, you know, arts is not something that's supported. And then the barriers of the recording industry, music industry, where there has been no Asian pop star, you know, historically. And so they don't know how to market us. And there's all these little gems in the documentary that all the artists have learned. So really you have to come out and hear their stories.
Absolutely. It really is a collection of all these multifaceted answers as to why we're not seeing more, you know, North American Asian pop stars. And, you know, the film is called Sing My Song. It's really about your song, The Calling.
Yes.
And you've always felt this calling. Obviously, you say you are, at the time of the movie, you're a woman in her mid-40s, you're not going to become like a pop star, but talk about why the death of your mother specifically was a catalyst for you to revisit this journey, revisit your passion, get your songs produced so that you can be like, hey, I did it. This is a concrete, finished product.
Well, I think my mother's death, she died at 59, and I talk about that, and it was really a life not fully lived, you know, not just because she had short life, she just had so many things that she had to take care of. And it was a luxury to go after her own personal goals and desires. And so for me, I felt that, you know, the music came to me at a very young age, and I really felt like I never gave it the life that it should have. And so I kind of put aside the fact, my age and all these barriers that I maybe self-imposed on myself, and also the world. You know, pop stars are very young. You have to be, you know, in your teens and groomed into it. And I thought, okay, I'm going to forget about that. I'm going to live my life with no regrets. And what does that look like? And so I said, let's go on this journey and see where it goes and not be limited by any preconceptions we might have.
I love how personal it is because, you know, with your mother, you talk about your family working on that farm with your family. It's like a real life Minari situation, but also seeing how your family was taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I also want to say that, you know, Asian American people, artists, representation matters. I mean, you talk about not seeing someone who looked like you do this thing and therefore you felt repressed. Personally, for me, I think I went into journalism because I had Connie Chung. She was doing it and I was like, there you go. But there's this phenomenon where Asian Americans, if they go to Asia, like Wang Lee Home, Coco Lee, they can become famous there, but they don't necessarily come back to North America and be famous. They're not even recognized here in some cases. Wang Lee Home, one of the greatest pop stars, king of pop in Asia, and he comes here and no one knows who he is. So what do you make of that phenomenon?
I think we're not seen in popular music. So I talk about that, like in the classical music, all the superstars are of Asian heritage. But in popular music, we're maybe not seen cool enough, or they don't know how to,
or sexy enough.
We haven't been commercialized.
Right.
So we're not seen as talent that should be invested in, which is so wrong because we talk about the rise of BTS and many of the artists are actually grown up Asian American or Asian Canadians who've gone back to Asia, who's done very well.
They have.
And we need to recognize that. You know, in Canada, we have even Canadians who may not be racialized have to go to the States, become stars before Canada will recognize them.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's across the board. But Asian Canadians in particular, Asian Americans, we need to celebrate ourselves. It's sort of our community saying, don't stand out, You know, it's not good to stand
Model
up.
minority.
Model minority.
Do what you're good at. Don't disobey the order.
Yeah.
Don't do rock and roll. Don't,
because it's
step
sort of
out
messy.
safe. Yeah.
And we're told that we have to follow the rules. Follow the rules because the model minority don't, draw attention and just be a good Asian.
Yeah, exactly. Such a fascinating documentary, and I loved your conversation, particularly with Kevin So, the country music artist in Nashville that you spoke with. Everyone, I hope you get to check it out. Playing at Scotiabank Arena tonight.
Tonight at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. And then on October 11th, you can catch it streaming on aam.tv.
Yes.
And of course, other platforms as well.
So much in there, so
Yes.
I think everybody will get something out of it.
For sure. Oh my gosh, thank you for making this documentary. I'm sure it's going to resonate with so many people. Barbara Kayee Lee, great to meet you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.